Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our witnesses for being here today and for your willingness to serve. Mr. Knight, you're nominated to be the top lawyer at the Department of Defense. Our commander in the Middle East, General Votel, recently said hundreds of ISIS foreign fighters have been captured on the battlefield following the campaigns to retake Mosul and Raqqa. Many of these fighters are currently held by U.S.-backed opposition forces. Do you believe that the United States currently has the legal authority to detain ISIS fighters indefinitely without giving them a trial or without charging them with what they have done wrong?
Senator, if they're judged enemy combatants under the law of war, yes, they can be detained during the hostilities.
Well, that's my question, though. How does that happen? Is that just a blanket? Do you think that they have can we just hold them indefinitely without making a determination on this?
The determination that must be made to hold them indefinitely during the course of hostilities under the law of war is that they are enemy combatants, and we are permitted under that international law to take them off the battlefield to protect ourselves. And
you believe we get that from the 2001 AUMF that you were just talking about?
Yes, Senator.
And so let me understand, we get that, I just don't quite understand how that makes sense. The 2001 authorization for the use of military force was passed over 17 years ago in response to the 9/11 attacks. That was well before the creation of ISIS. I don't understand how you think Congress could have intended to authorize operations against an organization that didn't even exist yet. So it looks like to me you're using outdated legal authority here.
Senator, both the previous administration and this administration, I think correctly, are viewing ISIS as the product of the metastasization of al-Qaeda.
So you believe the AUMF gives you authority to act 17 years later?
2001 AUMF, yes, ma'am.
So let me ask you another question about this, and that is the ACLU is representing a dual national American citizen who is detained in Iraq after allegedly fighting for ISIS in Syria. And the Trump administration has not said clearly whether this suspect will face criminal charges in federal court or remain in military detention indefinitely. So let me ask you the question in the abstract, not a particular person, except we know that this is now an urgent question to be answered. What legal rights does this dual national U.S. citizen have in detention? And does the United States have legal authority to transfer him to the custody of third-party country?
Senator, I'm a little reluctant because this is right in the midst of this litigation, as I understand it. And if I were to be confirmed, I might walk into a situation.
Well, but I'm not asking about an individual. I'm saying this is an urgent problem. But as a matter of law, what I want to know is whether or not a dual national, under circumstances like these, has any basic rights as a citizen under our Constitution.
Senator, I believe that citizenship in the United States provides certain rights beyond those which other unlawful enemy combatants would be accorded. And they're being looked at now, is my understanding, as to what they are, particularly with respect to his dual citizenship or the issue of a dual citizenship.
He does have some rights. You're trying to figure out what they are.
I believe that is the current status, but
I'm not asking for current status. I'm asking for your opinion. You're the one who is here, and the questions are about whether or not you should be the chief lawyer for the Department of Defense.
Senator, if confirmed, that would be precisely the questions that I'd be wanting answers to.
Well, I think we have a right to know what your opinion is here.
Yes.
That's relevant to my vote here.
Yes, Senator. And my opinion is that a person in that status has certain rights attendant to his American citizenship.
All right. So one more. Last week, President Trump signed an executive order authorizing continued use of Guantanamo to detain individuals currently there and to add new detainees. The order said nothing about habeas corpus or the Supreme Court's ruling that even detainees at Guantanamo can challenge the legality of their detention. Last month, 11 detainees, including 2 who've been approved for transfer, petitioned a federal district court for a writ of habeas corpus, and the petition is currently under review. Now, the Supreme Court ruled that detainees at Guantanamo have the constitutional right of habeas corpus to challenge the legality of their detention. Do you agree with the Supreme Court's ruling?
Yes, Senator.
Good. You know, ISIS and al-Qaeda are our enemies, and we can all agree it's in our national security interest to prevent them from returning to terrorism or returning to the battlefield. But if confirmed, you will be responsible for making sure we do that in a way that is legal and consistent with the principles of the Constitution. Thank you.
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you.